Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel. My apologies for not having anything for you to watch last week. I have been sick and have had a really difficult time voicing anything without coughing, and I am going to try and make it through this video without coughing too much in your face or your ears, and hopefully we'll get there. So I'm starting with these photos here of my daughter and her Girl Scout troop, and these were from many years ago at our cabin, camping out, and they are playing cards in the photos, and I am auditioning all kinds of papers. Well, apparently I'm also auditioning photos because I don't even end up using these photos. You're going to see me pull out some more from the pocket of photos there, and those are the two photos that I'm going to end up going with. You will see those other two photos in another layout that I've done, or other three photos of them playing cards, but for this layout I ended up going with these two photos of them hanging out on one of the beds and then hanging out just in the grassy area around the cabin. Now I'm going to hand cut my letters. I start by cutting my paper in a 2-inch, actually 2.5-inch strip. So then I cut it into 1.5-inch. So they're 2.5 by 1.5-inch rectangles, which ensures that all of the letters are the same height and same width. And then I just make each letter out of that. And I just do this freehand. The reason I left this in, I've sped it up considerably here, but the reason I left it in is because um, um, a lot of people didn't really think that I cut them by hand, and that's not like online people. Just like my mom was like, no way, you didn't cut those by hand. And then a couple of my friends were like, no, you must have drawn them out first. And you can see there, I didn't draw them out. I just did it by hand. And it's very simple if you cut them into the blocks, because you can just cut the letters to be the same size, and then you just cut out the negative space to make each letter. And sometimes I go back and I use a cutting mat and an X-Acto knife or something like that to cut out the center of the letters. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I leave them blocky. I am going to go ahead and take a fine tip pen and doodle around the outside of each of the letters just to kind of give them a border. And it adds to the handmade look, but it's kind of just more whimsical. So my lines are not straight, they're wonky and wobbly, and that's okay with me. So I'm going to use this bright pink chevron, and I really like it as a contrast to the letters and on the green. The green paper and the paper the letters are made out of are both from Bella Boulevard, and that bright pink one I believe is from Echo Park. And these are both really, old. They're a couple years old probably. So if you can't find them, my apologies, but you can always find something in those two tones if you really want to do something very similar to this layout. And you can see there that the letters all have all their lines around them. I sped that part of the process up, and here's where I'm just cutting the centers out of the A and the B. And like I said, sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't. You can kind of decide on your own what you want to do. And they're not perfect. It just adds to that whimsical kind of fun look. And then I am just going to go ahead and adhere those down with my ATG gun. And then I'm going to pull out the sticker sheet that goes with this collection from Bella Boulevard, and I'm going to go ahead and embellish using that sticker sheet. And I pretty much stayed true to just the stuff on the sticker sheet. I don't think I added a whole lot more. Excuse me. So, that's a really easy way to make a layout, is just to stick to one collection or a collection and a couple of additional things and just go from there. And I did this layout for Calvin Ball, and I started out really strong doing Calvin Ball stuff, and then I got sick, and nothing happened. And I mean, I don't usually get sick like I was sick. I ended up with a stomach bug, and then I went from the stomach bug to a sinus thing and down into my chest, and then I was better a couple days, and now I'm sick again. But so I did several layouts the first weekend that Calvin Ball started, and this was one of them. And then I ended up not doing anything for several days because of being sick. I literally sat on the couch, watched TV, and cut files for hours on end until my husband was like, I can't handle the noise of that machine anymore. So I ended up, was like, okay, fine, I'll stop doing cut files. And then I ended up stitching on a layout, just watching TV and stitching. Anytime I got up to move around, I'd just start hacking. And so I just didn't do a whole lot. I have done several layouts this week, and you've probably maybe seen those on social media, but I have not been keeping track of my Calvin ball points. I am not a math person. I'm not a numbers person, and it was taking me like just as long to figure out the Calvin ball points as it might take me to like do a layout. So I was like, okay, I give up. I'm not even gonna worry about it. It's just for fun anyway. But it was ending up not being so fun for me. So it was just like, okay, forget it. I'm gonna just make layouts and have fun. And so I did a whole bunch for the Secret Not Secret Kit Club and their online crop weekend, and for some of the challenges over at Confessions of a Paper Addict and their Facebook group. And so I really enjoyed that. I didn't tally up any points, and I did not submit them on the Calvin Ball website or anything. I think it's maybe just not my thing. So, okay, so I've got several embellishments here that I'm working with, and this layout is going to be somewhat on the simple side, mostly because there's a lot of bright colors going on, and there's a lot of visual interest in the title. When your title's really big like that, there's not a whole lot that you really have to add to make it interesting. I'm going to go ahead and put some little phrase stickers down, and I was trying to cover up, there was a word on that sticker with the 3 birds, and I didn't want it showing, so I found a little phrase sticker to cover that up. Now, because this was for Calvin Ball, I ended up using a little bit of wood veneer stars, and some enamel dots, and those gave you points for the Calvin Ball challenge. And floral paper was another one, so I did follow several of the things for that challenge, at least, to give me points that were available when I was working on it. And if you don't know what Calvin Ball is, there's a Facebook group for it, and it runs, I think it's every year in March. And they'll give you points, like they'll give you a list of things, and every day things are added to what they call the rules list. And they're not a rule, you don't have to actually use them, but if you use them, you get points. So, and then there's stuff that gets added to the list for a few days and then removed from the list. So you really have to keep track of the layout as you do them, because if you look at the end, there you might miss points, or there might be points available at the end that were not available at the beginning when you actually did the layout. So Alice Bowl runs that, and she's in charge of the Scrap Happy group, and you can go and check that out. It's almost over for this year, and again, I apologize for getting my layout done, or my voiceover done late, but you can check it out for next year. So that's pretty much it. So it looks like I'm adding some birds here. It's been, like I said, a while since I've done this layout, but birds and stars, and that'll give me some points. And like I said, I'm not worrying about it anymore, but I thought since I mentioned it, I should tell you what it was, and if you're interested, where to go find out about it. I apologize, my voice is going out again, but I'm going to see if I can make it through to the end of this. I will take my pen that I used to outline those letters, and I'm going to outline the entire layout, and I believe the pink paper too, just to create a little bit more interest and to keep it true to the letters and the way they look, so everything kind of has the same look going on. And I'm just using this deluxe adhesive from Tonic to adhere the wood down. I like this adhesive. It comes out really thin, and it works really well for wood veneer and sequins and all that kind of stuff, so I use it frequently. And then out come the enamel dots. Those give me points as well, so adding a few of those. That's going to bring us almost to the end of the layout. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below, and I'll get back to you as quickly as I can on those. And again, if you're interested in anything about Calvin Ball, go to scraphappy.org and check that out. And I'll leave a link below down for that. And it is almost over, only a few days left in the Calvin Ball Challenge, but you can always ramp up for next year. And there's videos on how to prepare for that and make yourself kits and all kinds of stuff like that. So you can just Google Calvin Ball on YouTube, and you'll get some videos that tell you more. So anyway, if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. If you are not a subscriber and would like to subscribe, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below. I'd really appreciate it. If you are a subscriber, thank you for sticking with me. And again, I apologize for missing a week there, but hopefully I'll be back now for a few weeks and not have a break, and my voice will hold up. Thanks again. I will see you guys next time. Stick around for the close-ups. They'll be along in just a few moments.